What's going on? It's your Council Polly Rob. Make sure you like and subscribe and become a member of my channel. I appreciate all y'all showing love. Let's get right into it. This week, starting today, will be, in my anticipation, the last week or the last 2 weeks of this Diddy trial. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I have not spoken on the Diddy trial at no point in time on my channel for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't like to talk about anybody's court cases, criminal cases, anything that they've done wrong in the court of law or allegedly done wrong in the court of law. I don't like to talk about that type of stuff. Number two, yes, I've been a fan of Diddy's music, but I've never really been a big fan of, Diddy himself, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't cover certain things that I'm not a big fan of per se, you know what I mean? But I felt compelled to make a video for a couple reasons. Number one, this video is not really about Diddy per se. It's about what's happening in hip hop with our legends and what's happening with our greats. Regardless of how you feel about Diddy, he is a musical icon for sure. He's a musical icon for sure. Number two, some things need to be said about navigating in the music industry, and I want to cover a little bit of that to the best of my knowledge of what I've, come across. And then also, we need to do better. We need to do better, y'all. From the executives to the artists to the producers to the people that surround the music industry doing whatever they are doing professionally. We need to do better. You know what I mean? So I wanted to have this video because there's just some things that you can take away from the Diddy trial that can help you on your journey of what you're doing creatively. You know what I mean? I want to start with this. Let's just start with this. Do not get into a relationship with anybody in the music industry with intentions of trying to make it, with intentions of trying to make it into the game. All of that, I'm dating this person so I can get a record deal, I'm doing this, and I'm not saying that that's what's happening in this Diddy trial, but what I am saying is there were opportunistic times through that bad boy office. Let's be honest. There have been opportune times for an artist, for a creator, for a producer, for a writer. Those times where they're trying to take the opportunity to get on. And there's a certain way that you navigate that because we're all finding out that it's a lot of mixing business with pleasure going on. It's a lot of mixing business with pleasure. And that can end very, very bad, very bad on both sides, on the executive side, on the artist side, on the side that's beneficial, on the side that's not so beneficial, that's offering a chance. It's a lot that can happen. It's a lot that can happen. You got to be mindful. I'm from the element of if you like somebody, you like that person for who they are and what they do. If you like that person, you like that person for naturally who they are, not because they got a big bag, not because they're an executive, not because they can do something for your lifestyle. On both ends. Even as an executive, don't try to engage in somebody on a personal or sexual level because you feel like you're going to use the concept of saying, I can make you a star to get over. Stop doing that. All that, I can make you a star, so you should F with me. Stop doing that. Because you can see that if not done in the correct manner, when you really care about somebody, that can end in lawsuits. Just saying. It can end in lawsuits. It can end in people getting hurt. It can end in domestic violence. Executives and people of power need to stop using their power to try to get over on people. They need to stop that. And then people who are trying to find an opportunity to get on or be famous needs to stop dating people with power to get to whatever status they want to get to. If it's a mutual liking to each other, entertain that. Stop trying to use each other. And I know y'all might say, oh, I mean, people use each other all the time. And yes, that is true. But you know the signs when this thing is not going well for either party. You know the signs when things are not panning out the way they're supposed to. You know the signs when people are trying to use you for a good and bad reason. You know those signs. So please be careful with that. This industry is full of people who are trying to take opportunities. So in my opinion, please guard your heart, guard your soul, guard your being. Have morals about yourself on both sides. I'm not blaming nobody because I don't know what happened truly in a Diddy trial. We all don't know what happened. But we know what we can take from a situation like this. We know that situations like this is like you need to be more careful with who you deal with. You need to be more careful of who you put in charge of your career, in charge of what makes you successful. You need to be more mindful. That's important to remember. On top of that, friends of creators, and this is a big one. Friends of creators, let's be honest. Y'all need to do better. If you're a friend of a creator, you need to do better. You need to have more conversations and letting your friend know that's a creator, whether they're on top of the world or not. Let them know if they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Somebody should have been telling Diddy, yo, you're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. Relax. Somebody should have told him, hey, I know you're a powerful person, but you don't need to be doing this. This is going to ruin you. Somebody was supposed to tell Cassie, hey, if this situation is not for you, you need to get away from this. You need to disassociate yourself from him. You don't need to be going down this road. You don't need to be crying. You don't need to be getting hit on. You don't need to be doing what is called the freak offs. Where's the friendships at? Where are the friends to let you know what's real? That's something that needs to be talked about in the music industry, especially for us creators that really be going off the deep end. Sometimes it's hard to find our way. Sometimes we may be vested in doing some things, but we don't necessarily know how to navigate through it. And that's where the good friends come in. You know, do Diddy have good friends, or does Cassie have good friends, or do people in the industry, you know, recognize the good friends? I don't know. But what I do know is, you know, it's just like I'll take it to like the parenting theory, right? If you're, for a lot of men, most men, if you're a deadbeat dad, your friends is going to tell you about that. Matter of fact, they're going to tell you about yourself, and they're not even going to hang around you. They're not even going to hang around you because you're doing something that they don't rock with. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. So sometimes your friends need to tell you what's real about yourself. I have friends that tell me what's real. If I'm on some BS or whatever, or if I'm not doing something the way I'm supposed to be doing, and at a certain point in time, I was a bad father. I did some bad things. And they let me know about it. They told me about myself. You know what I mean? They let me know about it. So what I'm saying is that aside from trying to chase your dreams and doing things like that, you need to listen to your friends. They'll give you the proper, at least make you aware of if what you're doing is a little too much. You know what I mean? I think Diddy should definitely, he should have had some friends that say, hey man, you doing too much. Like, we're not finna sit here and watch you beat up on girls like that. We're not finna sit here and watch you talk to people with all this anger and everything and do stuff to try to stop their career, whatever people may accuse him of. Diddy should have had friends that say, hey man, that's not right. Cassie should have friends to let her know if she needs to get out of the situation or not, or if what she's doing is not right. Just saying. A lot of things can be learned from this Diddy trial, especially if you're a creator in the industry. The days of doing something wrong to each other or treating each other with no respect and not getting repercussions for it, that time is over. That time is over. If you deal with the wrong man or woman, you may end up in a lawsuit these days. Especially millionaires, billionaires. You see what they doing? They finna come after you. They're coming after you. Whether allegedly you did something or not, they're coming after you. That's what I mean when I'm saying people need to watch this Diddy trial from both sides and from the wide angle perspective. That they're coming after our legends. They're coming after our greats. Just saying. Y'all may not want to hear this, but there's a lot of white executives, billionaires, millionaires that have been accused of the same thing, but they sweep that under the rug. Just saying. They sweep that under the rug. But our black power players, they coming for them. They're coming for them. Not to say if they've done something wrong. If they've done something wrong, you should be punished to the full extent of the law. But if you didn't, and if they're still coming after you, you got to take note of that. And you have to be a lot more strategic, a lot more on point, and a lot more thorough to avoid these bloodsuckers and these money-hungry people. You got to be mindful of that. Especially if you have a growing business. Anybody that has a growing business, anybody that has worked hard for what they earn and still do right by people, you got to look out because people are coming for you. They're going to try any way to say that you did them wrong. You got to be mindful of that. If you're somebody like Cassie that's aspiring to be something great, you got to be mindful of how you move, how you deal with people. You got to have a strong enough support system to be able to say, hey, man, I don't like that. And I got a support system that'll back me if I'm trying to get away from a situation. It's important. We have to have these conversations a lot more. I want to have conversations about what can we do better instead of just blaming people and saying everybody's wrong and, doing all of that. I want to have conversations, especially with my supporters and my subscribers. Let's have conversations on what we can do to not have to go down these roads of being sued, being imprisoned, having your life taken away from you, having your kids taken away from you because of something that you didn't do. If you did it, you deserve everything that's coming to you. I can't stress that enough. If you've done it, you deserve everything that's coming to you. But if you didn't do it, then first you have to find ways to protect yourself before an incident like this happens. We're missing some of the common concepts of these Diddy trials, and we've seen it in a couple of other situations. Like, they tried to come for Jay-Z, they're trying to come for Shannon Sharp. It's a lot of these things happening. Is Diddy innocent or guilty? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know. I don't know enough of the facts. To be honest with you, I haven't watched the trial that much. I don't know. But what I am saying is, with this Diddy trial going on, there's some things that we need to also acknowledge. We need to also acknowledge certain things, because this industry is crazy. I have to watch who I deal with when I'm in the industry, when I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. I wake up every day and work on the different projects that I'm working on. TV and film, artist albums, things like that. I have to constantly watch who I deal with and how I deal with them, because they'll use your kindness for weakness. That is a fact. They'll use any chance to say that you done them wrong, or you did this or you did that. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. If you don't take nothing away from this Diddy trial, if you don't take nothing away from what's been going on, understand that when you have something, you have to protect it on every level, from Cassie to Diddy to all the other people that's a part of the case. If you have something and you want to preserve it, if you want to preserve your love, you want to preserve your money, you want to preserve your well-being, your mental state, if you have things you want to preserve and protect, you got to start moving differently. You have to start moving differently. And that's the one thing that I learned. There's certain things that I have to fix with myself on how I move and who I deal with and how thorough I am and how I communicate. There's a lot of things that I have to work on, because situations like this can happen. Situations like this can definitely happen. Last thing before I go. There's going to be a lot of people talking about this Diddy trial. There's going to be a lot of people following this Diddy trial. And, the people are going to be deliberating this week. It's closing arguments, I believe, happened already. They're going to be deliberating. One thing I want to say. When you have these conversations with people, whether it's on social media, whether it's in person, no matter what your beliefs, whether Diddy is convicted or not convicted, whether it's a guilty or not guilty, whatever it is, give a little grace to the people you're having conversations with. I want everybody to look at both sides. I want everybody to be in the shoes of Cassie, be in the shoes of Diddy. Just try that for a second, even if it's for a little bit. And I don't want you to be in their shoes or think about this scenario from both sides to figure out who's wrong and who's right. I'm not interested in that. Whatever your beliefs is your beliefs. That's what it is. But I want you to take the time out to do that, to see how you would react if you're in that situation. Think about that. How would you react if you're in Diddy's situation, if you've been accused of certain things? How would you react if you're in Cassie's situation, if you're accusing someone of, doing so many things to you? How would you feel in both of those cases? Because at the end of the day, it's about the choices that we make. It's about the choices and the things that we do. I try to look at situations, whether it's I'm in it or not, I try to look at it from both sides and try to come out with at least some options of what I can do. Because one thing I know for sure is that Cassie felt like she didn't have a lot of options. You know what I mean? She felt like she didn't have a lot of options. Diddy felt like he had all the options. I don't know. So look at it from both perspectives, because One day it might be you. One day it might be your best friend. One day it might be a family member of yours. One day it might be one of your friends. One day it might be you. So that's all I got to say about that. You know, we're going to be watching the Diddy trial, you know what I'm saying? I might do a follow-up on whether he's guilty or not, but it's unlikely. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's talk about it. What do y'all think about the Diddy trial so far? You know what I'm saying? I'm really not interested about who you think is guilty or not guilty. I'm not interested in that. But if you want to, you know, put that in the comments, it's not a problem. And but also, let me know what are some things that both parties could have done to alleviate this situation and not go down this crazy path. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's Council Cali Rob. Make sure you become a member. Go to my membership and become a member. Join. I got exclusives coming. All right? WORKLOAD.